Like, so on which system they have tested this language? Which operating system they have tested this language? That is also one you can try, because they have to test this language, right? So in which language this, in which system this language is tested? Just find that information. So just system name, which operating system, right? And what style Java language follows? Which style of programming Java language follows? Technically, character sets and all. You can find those information also, right? So as I told you, write down those paper and stick it somewhere so that everyone, every there's a repetition. You need to come and see. That's it. No need to look into your books, notes, and all. Right? Someone take that initiative and start writing them. Okay. So today we'll start with how to write Java programs. So that is all history. So before we start our programming, what is the environment needed to write a Java program? So as a developer, what I need exactly so that I can write Java programs, right? So there are different kinds of environments you can use, right? So as already we discussed, Java is open source. First thing, you don't need to invest a single rupee on installing the software. It's not a commercial product. It's just a free open source. How many of you downloaded and installed it? Okay, very good. So you have already, remaining all are having this before. You have already them, no problem, right? So Java 8, any Java version, maybe from 12, is it commercial? Some part of the Java is free, some part of the Java is some commercial, as per my knowledge. You have to check that. All right. So first thing is the environment. You need the software. The job of the software is to do what? What is the job of this Java software? How it can help you in your development life cycle? What is the role of this software? Why we need this software? It is going to compile your code. Java is going to, whatever the source code you write, it is going to take that source code, compiles it, and then it is going to do what? It is also going to execute that compiled code. So what is that compiled code we call as? What is the output of Java compilation? Dot class file. These are all very important questions. What is the other name of it? Dot class file or byte code. Byte code. It's not binary code. These are all very important. What is a byte code? People will ask all these questions, right? So what is a dot class file? Dot class file is the outcome of what? Java source code after compilation, right? So as we discussed, so the environment which you need is Java software. I hope it's there in this laptop. Is it there? It's there, right? So you can go here. When you install the Java software, it is by default it goes into what? C program files. You see there is a folder created with what? Java, and he has installed Java 8. This is JDK. Both, as I told you, Java comes with JDK, Java Development Kit, JRE, runtime environment. So these two becomes Java. These two combined together is Java software, right? So Java Development Kit, you have so many things inside it, right? And JRE, it will have what? Right, a JVM. It is a JVM. Okay. So this is downloaded for Windows. The same software is, the software is not same for what? All other environments. Software is dependent, means virtual machine is dependent. You have to download the software for different environment. So if you look at this JDK, JDK or JRE, there is a folder called as what? Bin. These are all called as executables, exe files. So these tools help us to do what? To run your Java applications, and each tool has a different usage. We'll talk about them if time permits. Okay. So this is Java software. When you install it, it goes into C drive. So this is fine. So the job of the software is to take your source code as input and compile it and execute it. But where will you write your source code? You need some kind of editor. You need some kind of editor where you have to write your source code, right? So where will you write? Notepad. Notepad is the environment. So in the industry, people uses different kind of environments. In our labs, we'll be using what? Notepad. It's not always Notepad. It's any editor actually, which you can use to write Java programs. Any editor. Just all you need to write a document. Source code is nothing but what? Just a simple document. So to create a document, you need any editor. That's fine. Any editor. But Notepad, why we choose Notepad again? Because by default it comes with what? operating system. You need to download, install, nothing you need to do because it's by default available with your operating system. So no investment on that also. If it is Windows, you can go for what? Notepad. If it is Linux machines, you have a gedit kind of editors there, right? VIR, gedit. So you'll get every operating system gives you what? Some editors where you can document your text, right? So Notepad is the second one. So I write a Notepad, but how this in the Notepad, we take a Notepad, inside it we write a Java program, right? You need editor, it's fine. Any editor you take, WordPad or something, it's okay. So first environment is you need a Java software. Second, you need some editor, which is we are using for our lab is what? Notepad, which is little difficult to use, but it is very good to learn what? Syntax. I don't suggest you to go with other editors. Though you can use other editors, Notepad is the best editor for improve your syntax, right? So the third, so you write a program. How this program is given to what? Notepad. I write a Java program. Notepad, right? I save that file. Notepad. Whatever you create, that file I save onto my desktop. But this file should be given as input to what? To whom we should give that source file as Java compiler. How will you supply this file as input to Java through commands? Through commands, right? So as I told you, these commands are stored inside this Java JDK bin directory. These are the commands which you can use to compile as well as what? Execute your files, right? So these commands are there inside a bin folder. Okay, so these commands can be invoked from various locations. That's fine. So Java is providing you some commands, some tools. These tools help you to do what? Compile Java applications and execute. So basically we need three softwares now, right? So those three softwares is one is what? Java itself. Java itself, the first one is Java itself. Second one is what? Notepad. You should know which version. Notepad for what purpose? Writing your source code, nothing much, only for writing your application. The third environment which you need is what? You need to compile your source code, execute and all. You need some Java tools to be enabled. And those tools we enable through what? A command prompt. In the command prompt, we can invoke those tools. So these are the three things which we need basically. But in the industry, people won't work with these many tools. Because writing the program in Notepad, again, compiling execution the program in what? Command prompt means you need to switch between what? Different environments. So sometimes you need to open Notepad, sometimes you need to open what? Command prompts. It is a lot more activities you'll be doing when you move on to what? Advanced level programming, not only these two, right? So in the industry, people uses some special software called as what? IDE. It stands for what? Integrated Environment. IDEs people uses. So IDE is nothing but integrated development environment. The name itself says integrated means what? Integrated development means what? All the softwares which are needed for developing an application, all are available inside one software. So to develop your applications, whatever the environment is needed, like here we are talking about what? Three. Anyway, Java won't be part of what? IDEs. Java should be installed separately. Right here in our case, we need two things. One is Notepad and one is command prompt. In advanced level, you may need so many things like servers, debugging tools, lot more things you need. All are integrated into one software. So in order to work with what? Multiple softwares and all. So those softwares are called as IDEs. Industry uses IDEs. Alright. So all at one place. One software is needed where you can write what? Code, where you can execute all, debug. If you want to configure servers, you can configure whatever is needed for your development environment. All can be integrated into what? One software, that is called as IDEs. In Java, you have so many IDEs, right? Very famous IDEs. Eclipse. In the industry, this is hugely used, right? So it's again open source, free. You can download it from what? Internet. This Eclipse is free. Various versions are there. There is one IDE called as NetBeans, which comes with this is Sun Microsystems. Eclipse is open source. It's like it's not specific to any company. NetBeans comes from Java, Sun Microsystems, right? A lot more you have like this, but these are the two very famous IDs. JDeveloper you have, right? IntelliJ, that is from IBM, I guess. IntelliJ. Every company has their own ID, but Eclipse is open source. You can download and very useful actually. This is the one which is used hugely in the industry, Eclipse. So IDs in the industry people uses all at one place. No need of multiple things. Anyway, we are not using any IDs for time being. We'll be going with basic setup, right? So we'll be using notepads. We'll be using what? Command prompt. So this is the environment which you needed to start your Java program, right? So now let's see how to write a Java program. All I need is one notepad, as I told you, right? So let's create a Java program, right? So as we are learning a language and using that language, we are constructing some programs. So as we discussed, every language will have its own syntax. So first priority should be given to what? Syntax. Now we'll start writing the Java program using some basic syntaxes. Every day I'm giving you what? Some rules. That is your first job. You have to learn all the rules. These rules only helps you to what? Develop your applications. So today we'll start with two simple rules, right? Three rules in fact. So the file which you are going to write, right? So whatever the program you are going to write, it should be saved into what? A file. And that file extension must be .java. Right, so we'll be using different files for different purposes. .doc for storing some kind of information. .pdfs you have, .txt files you have, .mpeg. There are so many extensions we use, right? The extension for Java files is what? .java. That is the extension. Any Java program you write, that program must be saved inside a .java file, right? Second rule, very important rule. This is where most of the beginners will find difficulty. Most of the beginners will find difficulty with this rule and they give up the subject also. The Java is a case sensitive language. This is a very important rule. Beginners, it will be very difficult to identify this rule. Java is a case sensitive language. So when I say case sensitive language, wherever you are supposed to use what? Capitals, there you have to use capital letters. Wherever you're supposed to use small, you must use a small letters. Capital A is not equal to what? Small a in Java. And this is a very complicated rule. Freshers will give up because there are some right. There are some keywords and all in Java which they follow some specific standard. So right. So there are some rules actually to identify where capital letters are used, where small letters are used. There are industry driven rules, right? So if you learn those rules, it is easy for you to what? Identify where the exactly capital letters are used, where exactly the small letters are used. Those are called as coding standards. You can download a document from internet, Java coding standards. There are lot coding standards are there, lot more standards are there, out of which you can understand about naming conventions. Naming conventions. If you go through that naming conventions, it is easy for you to what? Understand where exactly the capital letters are used, where exactly the small letters are used. I will give you these conventions while discussing, but if you be prepared before, then you will know, right? This is a very important rule, as I'm saying, right? So because most of the freshers don't know where to use capitals, where to use small. A simple letter change, the entire program meaning changes. So you'll be very careful. All right, I'll give you. And the third is okay. So Java programs, whenever you write Java program, we call them as what? Classes. The dot class file which I'm talking about, it's not the same. We call them as what? Class. Any program you write Java, the first thing should come into your mind is you are developing a class. That's it. class has a different meaning. It is a different meaning. We'll talk about class more. So throughout this course, so it's like 3 to 4 months, whatever we are going to learn, we'll be talking about only classes. Writing a Java program is nothing but writing a class. All right, how to write a class, what are the different things we can have inside a class, that we are going to learn throughout this course. All right, so writing a class is nothing but creating a Java program, right? And these are the three simple rules. And okay, when I say one more rule, you are not supposed to write any statement outside of a class. You are not supposed to write any statement outside of a class. What does it mean? There is a clear boundary where exactly you have to write your statements. Right, so I'll tell you how these boundaries are defined. There is a clear boundary how this where to write exactly your programming statements, lines of code. Okay, so now say me, what should I start with these 4 rules? I'll be giving you so many rules, right? So say me how to start with what should I write here? We have to write a Java program. No, I need to create a class, right? So class is a keyword. Class name. Okay, I'm not going to type it on here. I'll be writing on what? Board, as I told you. Guys, can you see the board?
No problem.
Got like the just okay, no problem. This space is enough. So public class is the keyword.
Kranti, we are not able
This
to
is
see.
a Java program, right? Program name.
Kranti?
Guys, can you see this?
No,
Can
no.
someone confirm?
No, sir.
Online.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we are not able to see.
Are you there?
No,
Yes,
we
sir.
are there.
We are not
I
able to.
cannot hear you. I think you are on mute. No, I cannot hear you actually. Now,
No.
type in the chat window. I cannot hear you. Say yes or no in chat window. So this problem is there actually. 1 second. Okay. Now you speak. I think it is audible now. So there's a problem with this external screen. Yeah, I know. Okay, fine. Thank you. So writing a Java program is creating a class, right? So public class, some name. Now here is the very important.
Kranti?
Public, we'll talk about this. Static, void, main.
Here.
This is called as a main method.
Lavanya, were you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, one second.
This is called as main method, right? So every program should have a starting point. So this is called as what? Starting point of a Java program. Right? A lot more things we can write inside it. There may be 1,000 lines of code I can write. But this code should be executed by some software. This software should know where to start. You can write 1,000 lines of code inside it. But there should be some starting point, right? చెప్పు జ్యోతి. One second. అదే చెప్తున్నారు, వినపడుతుంది కానీ క్యామ్ కనపడలేదు. Okay, because it's there in screen sharing mode. Because it's there in screen sharing mode, so that the reason cam is not visible. Now,
Fine, sir.
okay. కనబడుతుంది కదా నీకు? Hello. Lavanya, can you see the screen board?
Yeah, sir.
You have to type, Lavanya. Some problem is there with voice. No. This screen problem actually.
స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుంది కానీ వాయిస్ వినిపించట్లేదు.
One second. Can you type చేయి. ఈ స్క్రీన్ కి కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాం కదా, ఇప్పుడు కనిపిస్తుంది, ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుంది. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
How about screen? This board? Can you see it now?
Yeah, fine, sir.
There's a problem with this external HDMI cable. Audio కూడా ఇది ఉందా? ఇది లేదు కదా, ఓన్లీ HDMI. న్యూ ల్యాప్టాప్, రైట్? కొత్త ల్యాప్టాప్ కదా ఇది? ఇదే ఉండదు. Settings మార్చాలి. Okay, anyway. So public static void main, here we are going to write a statement. This is to print anything onto console. You want to print some messages, right? System dot out dot print line some message. This message prints onto console. Console is nothing but command prompt. Okay. Simple program to start with 4 lines of code. Now this is a program you are writing inside what? A file. And the name of the file should be what? .java. Okay. Or simply you can write dot only class, public is also not needed. Print message. Simple program, 4 lines. So I gave you 2 rules, right? So 2 very important rules are like you are not allowed to write anything outside of the class. So what is that outside of the class? So this flower brace, after your class name we are opening a brace, and here we are closing a brace. This is a boundary. After this, if you write any statements, once it is closed, it leads to a compile time error. Everything should be inside class. Inside class means before you close this. Some other programming languages allows you to write, but Java is a strictly defined language. Strictly means wherever it is expecting something, it should be like that only. We will give you what is the definition of strictly defined language. Right, so there should be some starting point. You may write thousands of lines of code. The software should know where it should start executing. So this is called as what? Starting point. Public static void main. It should be written like this only. It should be written like this only. You cannot change it, right? Though you can change this static public, that is fine. But most of the people prefer to write it as what? Public static. You can write static public also. That's not a problem. String. This is array. This is square brackets, open and close. We call it as an array. And this is args. It's needed to be args. I'll tell you what is the meaning of it. And if you want to print something onto screen, system.out.println and your actual message which goes inside what? Double quotations. It should be in double quotations. Every line should be terminated with what? Semicolon. That is one more rule. Every programming statement should be terminated with semicolon. And this is a method we call this as a method. Every method should have a open and close. Flower braces again. So total you have two pairs of braces. One is for class, one is for method. This is what your starting program. This is your program and this is your file. So this is where the most freshers will be confused. There are two names actually here. One is your program name. Its name is what? Print message. The other name is what? File name. This is called as what? File name. This is your class name technically. File name and class name. Why I am specifically saying here, there is a meaning for these names you should identify. Most of the beginners they don't know what is the difference between a file and a class name. Right, we'll start from basic. Is there any difference between a file name and class name? Right, most of the freshers says they must be what? Same. It's not there. We'll try to identify and all these rules, right? So it's a simple program and lot more to study here. Actually, it looks very simple, maybe 4 to 5 lines. But if you understand this program, if you have to understand this program, it takes minimum 10 to 15 days of time, because there are a lot more things are there. If you have to understand each one, what is public, what is static, it may take 10 to 15 days of time. Not more than 10 to 15 days also. Because each one has a different meaning here. To understand why I should write public, why I should write what? Static. It takes minimum 15 days, right? So anyway, your focus, I told you, right? Day before yesterday only I told you, my classes are interconnected. Right, I don't know when I'll again try to explain this program number 1. I think now if I connect this, they cannot hear my audio. If I connect, you cannot see, right? You don't see if I don't connect. I think I need to set some changing. I forgot where to change it. Guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
You have to type. Definitely, I cannot hear you. That means you also cannot hear me. It's connected to Dell, is it? Guys, now? Guys, now can you hear me? Yes, you can, right? So I need to change the settings, yes. I'm sharing the screen. Just confirm the same. Now, able to see? Okay. Okay. So let me type the same thing, whatever I have wrote on the board. Should I increase the font size? Is it okay? Okay. Now? Right. So as I told you, it's a case sensitive language. You have to type where exactly, you have to type exactly the letters, right? So small or capital, you have to exactly type them. Public static void main. Yeah, I need to supply that. String. One brace extra. Strictly defined, right? So compiler has to, if the compiler has to compile this program, it should be written like this. Otherwise, compiler says the errors. Print lines. See, observe there I am typing some capital letters, I am typing some small letters. This program prints the output onto console. Something I'm writing, that's your choice. You can write your name, whatever you like to write, you can write, but it should be in double quotations. Right, so I'm removing public here, time being. That's also correct, no problem. Now this is the program, simple program with one printing statement. Desktop rest is syntax, right? So I'm saving this file. So what I do is I'll create a folder on the desktop before I save it. New folder. Now, as I told you, file name must be data Java. So I'm giving it as what? Print message dot Java. Should be very careful here because you see the type of the file is stored as what? Data txt. So what happens if you save print message dot Java? It will be appending what? Dot Java dot txt. So is the reason why if you don't want to append any extra extension to it, it should be placed inside what? Double quotations. Or change this format to what? .txt to what? All files. When you change it to all files, there is no need of giving what? This double quotations. By default, it will be, because the notepad I'm using, by default it treats it what? .text file. Though you give .java here, what happens? It is going to append what? .java.txt. Then it is not a Java profile. Should be very careful. So to avoid it, double quotations. Then it will be saved as what? .java only. Save it in that folder, right? Go to that folder. This is a folder where I have saved my program. Okay. Now the next step is, this is my source code. Next step is what? I need to compile and execute it, right? So let's say forget about it. So if you have to open this file for reading and all, what will you do? You have to go to that folder. Make sure that you are going to that folder. Then only you are able to what? Open that file. The same thing. This rule most of the beginners will don't do this, right? So I have to go to this folder. Then I have to open this folder. Then only I can find what? Data file. So where I'm going to open this folder using what? Command prompt, right? So I'm going to switch my location to what? I'm going to switch my location to what? Desktop and Java files. Remember these things. These are all look simple, but there is a possibility of what? Committing mistakes here. CD desktop, or if you don't know how to run this command, these are all some commands we have learned in what? Unix. CD for change. This is not Unix operating system, this is Windows, but CD command works here also. On the desktop we have what? On the desktop I created a folder with the name Java programs. Okay. Now if you type dir, you see what files are there. So this is a file. This is a file. This is a document. You don't need to see them as what? Different things. It's just a document you prepared, and the document's extension is what? Data Java. But there are rules to write the content inside what? This document. A simple document you prepared with the name .java extension, but whatever the content you want to write inside it, there are rules. You have to follow those rules while preparing the content inside it. Let's say you are preparing a resume. Will you follow some rules? Yes, there is a format, right? Most may not be the same format everyone follows, but most of the time you follow what? A format to write it. So whenever you are preparing any documents, headings will be there, paragraphs will be there, like this will indent, right? So this is a document you are preparing with the Java extension, and you should follow some rules to write the content inside it. If your document is prepared following, means content is prepared using the rules, then only it is compiled, right? Now how to compile this? So this is the location where my file is stored. You have to move to that location. This file cannot be opened from any other location. If you try to open this file from any other location, it obviously what? You get error saying, I don't find this file. Can you open this file from D drive? No, you have to go here only, right? The command to compile this program, Javac is a tool. So where is this tool? This tool is inside what? That bin folder. Javac, what it takes the file name. Which file your program is saved? The file name is what? Print message.java. .java should be given. Oh, this actually I was expecting. It's a very important thing to understand. I don't know how many of you understand this, but I'll give you this. So this is a Javac is a executable file. You know executable files? exe files. You get exe files, right? When you install, if you want to install any software, you get exe files on. This is such kind of exe file, executable files, right? But this file comes with only what? There are two levels you can see these files. some executable files directly comes with what? Software itself. Like if I want to create a directory, right? So what I can do, mk, yeah, this exe file comes with what? By default with Windows operating system. See here, this folder is created, mkdir, and you go here, this folder is created, test. Right, so if I type some hello here, okay, let's say, what will I get? This error. Why will I get error?
Because we are not giving any external.
What is hello? What when I type something here? What Windows tries to do here?
It tries to search the.
It tries to search for this hello.exe file actually. It's very much equal to what? If it is found, it executes that program. If it is not found, it don't execute. It's not exe file. It may be a batch file also. That is different. You don't need them. Batch programming is also there. So it says what? I don't find hello. What are you asking me to execute? So whatever you type here, they are treated as what? Some programs, exe files or some batch files, and it's trying to execute it. Now when I type mkdir, it is able to execute this program, and whatever next I pass this argument, it is able to create a folder with this argument. Right? If I type rm remove directory test, what it is going to do? It is deleted that file. You can see that. See here, there is no test directory. It has only print message.java. Nothing is there apart from it. Right? So cls if I type, it's fine. It's working. But when I'm typing hello, it's not working. When I'm typing Java C, it is also not working. Whatever you type, they won't work. Why? Because whatever you type here, there are some programs. This program must be there. There only these programs can be picked up by your operating system and it executes them. Right? So, but the way you can compile the Java program is you have to use what? Java C is the tool or exe file, whatever you say. But it says what? I don't find it. Why it is unable to find it? Right? So your operating system is going to search for these exe files in some specific locations. Now I'll type C here. I'll type notepad. Is the notepad you got? So what is notepad? I'm typing notepad. What I got? That is a notepad is open, right? I'll type CALC. You see the calculator opened. How this is working? You double click them, right? So calculator is the name of the program. When I type it, it is getting open. There may be so many like this, right? If I type MS Word, it's not there. I think it's WinWord, I guess, not MS Word. The name of the program is. It searches for this file and it opens that WinWord. WinWord is exe file which opens what? Word document. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's opening it. It's taking some time. So this is what is the meaning. So whatever you type, this is the program which should be executed. But where exactly these programs are searched for? Is it going to scan your entire disk? Is the operating system is going to scan entire disk? It is not going to scan your entire disk. There are some by default locations. It is going to search for these programs. If the program is there in that location, then only these programs are getting executed. So that location is called as path. Every operating system will have a path. You can see that actually, echo percentile path. It's printing the path. Echo means what? Print the path where exactly my operating system is searching. So there are so many things here. Java path is there. System32. See here, this is interesting path. C Windows System32. Let's go to C Windows System32 and see what is there. C Windows. Here is the Windows. What is it? System32. Is it? So almost all your operating system related, when you install the operating system, all the executable files are stored here only. System32 is a big folder actually. You see here, when I type notepad, notepad.exe will be there. So narrator, okay. I can type directly what? Narrator, what it opens? Some narrator.exe, nb start. Right, you see here application means what? They get executed. nd admin, you can open this. I typed notepad, right? Somewhere you can find that notepad also. Net start, you can type this new dev. Where is the notepad? Here is the notepad. So when I type notepad, what is this operating system is doing? You check the path. It is going to each path it will go. It is going to this path. It is searching for what? Notepad.txt file. It is found here and it is executing it. There are so many paths. Each path is separated with what? Semicolon. So what happens is this Java C command, which does not directly comes with what? Operating system. This command comes with a Java software installation. When you install the Java software, you'll get this command. It does not directly come with your operating system. So operating system does not know where is this command is stored. Operating system does not know where is this command stored. You have installed the Java, then this command has come. Operating system does not know where is this command is stored. So what you need to do now? You need to tell operating system Java C is there inside this location. So that means you are going to add what? The Java C command path to existing path. Don't erase the existing path. If you erase the existing path, what happens? Your operating system won't work. All the programs which you want to execute, none of the program will execute. So there is a problem. It says what when you type this, it says Java C is not an internal or external command. It's not internal, comes with operating system, or it is also not external. Means external, we have to configure it. I don't find this anywhere. Sorry. Is it not there in your system? It's there. I'll show you where is it. You go to C, program files, open the Java, JDK, bin. Here is the Java C. You can see these are all executable files only. Somewhere you can see Java C. Where is it? Here. This is executable file. Same like Notepad. But this file comes when you install what? Java software. See, it is getting executed. .exe file only. You see this? But it says what? I don't find this file. Which one? Operating system is saying. So what I need to do now? I need to say the operating system. Please search in this location 2. I need to tell operating system, right? So please search in this location 2 for some files, right? So I need to take this path till bin, JDK bin, add this path to what? Add this path to your operating system existing path. There are 2 ways, right? So there is permanent setting, there is temporary setting. Time being, I'm going to do what? Temporary setting. So there is a command called as set command. Setting what? Variable name is what? Always this variable name is path only. See here. The variable name is path. Inside this path, all your folders are set. The variable name always will be path. So I have already a path, some path already there, right? So if you want to pick the existing path, we need to type what? Get me the existing path. This is your existing path. This one, the above one, is already by default path you have, right? To this path, we need to add what? The Java files path, right? So semicolon. So this is where the Java files are located. Just all you copy paste it. Now semicolon. Now I type what? Java C. Now it's working. These are the options. It's not showing you what? It's not internal or external command. Now this is able to pick. You have to set it. This is temporary. What does it mean? Once I close this command prompt, this is last. This is not permanent. Every time you have to do what? Open command prompt. This is not available to some other terminal also. It is available only for this terminal. This is temporary. Set path. Path is a variable name. You cannot change any name. You cannot use any name. It is must. It should be what? Path only. So there is a permanent way. What is the permanent way? You go to your My Computer, right click, properties, advanced system settings. There is an environment variable. These are called as environment variables. Path, environment, right? So what is the environment which is used by? You see, this is a path which is already there in the user variables. There is huge path is already there, right? So if there is no path, you can do what? You can create one by clicking what? New. Because there is already a path. I don't want to delete this, right? I'm going to edit this, right? So this path I'm going to edit by adding what? Okay, it's a new. I'm going to add new path. What is the new path? Where is my Java exe files? They are there in C bin. Okay, this is how I'm going to add. Okay, right? Okay, now this becomes what? Permanent. Now let's see here whether it is added or not. How to see? Echo percentile path percentile. This is to show your path. See here the Java is added. This becomes what? Permanent. Let's come out from this terminal. Let me open one more terminal and see ECHO percentile path. See here, bin is there. Now because this bin is added to your path, now when I type any command here, where the operating system is going to search? In every location. And finally it finds all the Java related tools inside what? This bin folder. So how will you set this permanently? Right click on your My Computer, go to environment variables, advanced system settings, right click, properties, advanced system settings, environment variables. This is different operating system. Windows 10, that way is different. If there is already a path, you edit it. If there is no path in the user entries, not in the system entries, right? So if there is no path, you can create one new. It is asking for what is your variable name. It should be what? It's always preferred to give capital PATH. Don't give small. You can give small, but preferred is what? Capital. You can copy what is the location you want to search. That's fine. You can create new. I'm not creating new because already there is one. I'm editing it. Click on edit and add whichever the paths you want to add to this. Okay. So now with this, now the Java tools are available to your operating system. With this setting, the Java tools are available to your operating system. Now these tools can help us to do what? Compile and execute. So the Java executable files are not by default available. Right? Fine. So whenever you install the Java, don't go to command prompt, type Java C like this. If it is executed, you see so many options. What are the options you can use with what? Java C. There are lots of options. We need to learn them. Okay. If these options are coming, means what? Your compiler is fine. Its operating system is able to find what? The Java compiler. Java C stands for Java compiler. C stands for what? Compiler. Okay. Java C. What I need to compile? Again, this is where you make the mistake. Print message. This won't work now. Why it won't work? It says I don't find this print message. So do you think your Java compiler is going to search for this file in entire hard disk? It is not going to search for entire hard disk. You must go into the location where the file is stored. It is not going to search for this 1 terabyte disk. Not possible. It's time waste, right? So where my program is saved? My program is saved onto desktop, and here I created a folder with Java programs. I should go to that folder, and then here I need to type what? Java C compiler, right? This is a compiler. This is available only when you set path. Otherwise, it is not available. You must do this, right? And my program name is print message. Now it is compiling this. It is taking some time to compile it. It's found that file command. So there are two things. This compiler should be available to what? Operating system. This program should be available to what? The compiler. So you must go into what? Location. Then only this program can be detected. And the compiler detection happens by setting what? Compiler detection happens by setting what? Path. That is called as environment variable. Those variables are used by your operating system. These are all very important. That's fine. Now, say me what happens after the program is compiled according to the architecture.
Yes.
Dot class file is generated. Let's go to the folder where I have my program created. You see there is a. Do you see that? The dot class file generated. If a compilation is successful, compiler is going to search for your syntactical mistakes. In my program, I don't have any syntax errors. I use proper syntaxes. Then it is compiled successfully. You got what file? Dot class file. This is called as what? What type of code it is? Byte code. You can open it, no problem. Right click, open with Notepad. You don't understand anything. You can change it. If you change it, it won't execute. Corrupted class file. It becomes what? Corrupted class file, right? They don't understand. Whatever the instructions I wrote, they're technically converted to what? This format. There are different ways to open it, but this is not understandable to what? Human. This is not human understandable format. This is called as what? Bytecode. As well, this is not understandable format for what? Operating system also. This is not human understandable, as well as this is not a platform understandable. This intermediate file called as what? Dot class file. Now this file should be given as what? What is the next level? This file should be given as input to Java virtual machine. Then this class file is converted to what? Binary code. Java virtual machine is going to convert it and it is going to execute it, right? So how to invoke this Java virtual machine? This is the command. Which file is the input for Java virtual machine? Dot class file, not the data, Java file. Remember it. Dot class file is the input for Java virtual machine. So what is my dot class file name? The one which is generated, print message only. The dot class file which is generated is also same as your file name, right? So while you are giving this as input to virtual machine, you should not specify dot class, not needed. Only the file name, because virtual machine is always going to take the dot class as input. Now enter this. So what is this Java? Again, this Java is a exe file. Java is also what? Exe file. You can find this Java also inside the same bin folder. You see Java and Java. See, these are available only when you set what? Path. Otherwise, they are not available by default. You must set the path. Setting a path is nothing but you are helping the operating system to what? Locate your executable files. Otherwise, they are not located by default, right? Now see the output. So this is a program I wrote and I got the same output. This output, right? Whatever I print, this is getting printed onto what? Console. This is what we have, right? But as I told you, it's a strictly typed language. Let's try to change few of the letters here. So this capital S, I change it to what? Small s. Its meaning changes in Java. Now let me recompile this. Whenever you modify your program, you have to do what? Recompile always. Whenever you modify, you have to recompile because it has to generate what? New compile. It says what? I don't find what are you trying to do? Error at. Very important thing. I always recommend the freshers to read the errors and identify the error and fix it. It clearly says there is an error inside this file, Java file, at line what? 4. And it says I don't know what is a system. As clear messages are given. Don't irritate by looking at what? Errors. Try to understand and then fix them. That is how you will learn what? More syntax. If you want syntax to be practiced more, you have to fix what? The errors. You have to get errors, then only you'll know what? The syntax. You will become strong in syntaxes, right? So it says system is not, I don't know what is the system you're trying to ask, right? So this is always, S is what? Capital here. Now here there is one more capital. String, S is capital there. I made it what? The compilation, so as we discussed, compiler will try to give you what? All the errors at once. It says what? There are 2 errors. One is at this S, one is at this system. I don't find what you are saying. I don't find this string. I don't know what is the meaning of this string you are asking me to create. You are asking me to compile. I don't know this, right? So this is capital S. S here also capital S, right? So you should be very careful here. All right. Now there are few questions I would like to ask. Just try to give this answer. These are all very simple questions, but most of the freshers ignore them. But I feel important things. So my file has my file. This is one file, and inside this file I'm having one program, and that program we call as a class. In Java we call it as what? Class, right? So here if you look at this class is all small, public is all small, static is all small, void is all small, main is also what? All small. String starts with S capital, system starts with what? S capital. This is your name, whatever the name, which can be small or capital, that's your choice. But there is a standard to give these names also. We'll talk about those standards later. Now here, if you look at this, my file has one class. Can I write multiple classes inside the same file?
Yes.
Multiple programs. All right. So a file can contain what? Multiple programs. That's correct. No problem. Each program is nothing but one class. Each program is nothing but one class. So I'm giving different names now. Print message 1, print message 2, print message 3. All these programs are saved into a file called as what? Print message. File name is different. Program names are different. Can I do this? Yes, you are allowed to do this. You can write multiple classes inside one file. When I say multiple classes, each class becomes one program for you. You can do that. Absolutely, you can do this. Now, is it compiles or not? But what? Class name and file name must be same. Which class name and which file name must be same here? It should be print message 1, is it? Why not print message 2? Why not print message 3? What's wrong? All are having, what are you saying main class? What does it mean main class mean?
Same.
Or you are saying class name and file name must be same. So which class name you are talking about? There are 3 classes. And she says main class name. Which one is main here? All are main classes. Why? Every class has a. What is the meaning of main class and not main class? What does it mean? How will you differentiate? This is a main class. This is not a main class. Copy paste. I don't need to copy paste. Actually, I can write. I can type everything from the beginning. Right. So we'll change the statements also. Right. This is program 1. This is because I want the same lines of code. I'm copy pasting it. You should be very expert in this copy pasting. That is nowadays developers. They do all what? Copy paste. They don't type. Search copy paste. This is program 3. Okay. Semi. I need to compile this. One document with 3 different programs, and each program is called as one class. Can I compile this? Yes, no. No. Why no?
Which class you should find it?
Which class you should compile? Is it? There are names, right? You have different names. Print message 1, print message 2, print message 3.
Class is another
I don't get you. Okay, that's what I told you. Anyway, before I do compilation and all, let me delete my .class files. I don't want the .class files. You don't know.
Which class
You can see the background, right? Anyway, who is creating the .class files? Are you creating it? .class files are generated by what? Compiler. All you can find its name there. You can find the names of .class files after compilation. If the compilation is successful, you can find what? What are the .class created? That is there. That is some simple. Go to your folder and see what is the .class file is created. If it is created, you can see that name. That is possible, right? Okay. So this is my Java program. Okay. Let me close this and let me reopen this with what? Notepad always. Done. My program, my file has 3 programs. I told you there is a difference between file name and program name. Can I change this file name to test.java? Okay, let me do that. Rename so that it will be clear. I don't want to confuse by giving what? Same names. My file name is what? Test.java, which has 3 different programs with the names print message 1, message 2, message 3. Let's see whether it compiles or not. What compiler will take now? Compiler takes file name, the file which contains what? Programs. What is my file name? Test Java. Compiler takes the file name. Test.java. Okay. Lucky. You're lucky. It's compiled. You said owned and it compiled. No errors. It says what? I don't find any errors in these files. Everything written inside this file is what? According to what? Syntaxes. There is no syntactical mistake I see in this file. Now say me, what do I execute?
It will compile but not execute.
It is not execute. Why it won't execute? Say me, what should I execute? Java space print message. Where is the print message? It's gone now. Test. This will fail. Correct. The execution will fail. That means no. Execution will also correct. Execution also correct actually. Just clear the screen. You have to see what .class files are generated. Interesting.
It creates either.
For every program, it creates one .class file. And what is the difference between file name and .class file name? Is there any difference? .class files are generated by the compiler. It should give a name. What name it gives? The one which you have given for your program. This becomes your .class file name. Because .class file is created by the compiler. It cannot give whatever the name it has to give. It will give, there should be some standards. What is the standard? The program name is given as whatever .class file name. How many .class are generated here? For every program there is one .class generated. See here. Now there is no test.class. It won't generate any file with name test.class. .class files are always generated with your program names. Document contains 3 programs. Document name need not to be same as what? Your program name. Okay. Now which programs I should execute? Which programs I should execute now? Executing the program means what? Executing what file? Now say which files I should execute. Print 1, print 2 and print 3. Java virtual machine takes .class files as input, not the Java file, right? Now let's see whether they are executed or not. Because there is no test.class, you cannot execute it, which is not there, right? Now I have to execute Java space either print message 1 is executed, either print message 2 executed, print message 3 executed. This is very important. Most of the fixtures does not know this. File name and class name need not to be same. You can have different names. File name is your choice. You can give whatever the name you want to give. But .class file name is not your choice. It is given by compiler. Compiler always choose your program names as what? Compiler always choose your program names as a .class file name. This is possible. And how many .class files are generated? 3. Is that the answer you give in the interviews? If someone asks for how many .class files are generated, you say 3. Is it? What is the answer? How many classes are there? For each class, there is one .class file is generated. For each class, 1. But I'm going to change my source code little. Now I'm not going to have a main method here. What does it mean? If there is no main method, I told you starting. There is no main method. What is the meaning of it? There is no starting point. You can have main method is not compulsory again. This is also one important rule. Main method is not compulsory for Java programs. Not needed. Right? Whenever you develop application with so many classes, you write main method for only one class. You don't write main methods for what? All classes. I'm not writing a main method here. So I modified my programs. So that means I need to recompile. Compilation should happen along with what? File name. Remember it. My file name is test.java. It's fine. And execution happens with the .class file names. Java C takes file name. Java takes .class file names. There is a difference. So my dot class file names are not test. My dot class file name is print message 1. What is the other one? Print message 2. And the other one is print message 3. It won't execute. Why print message 3 is not executing? It always searches for what? Main method. It says I don't find any starting point in this file. But it is not wrong file. It is correct. It is compiled. You see print message 3 is there. Print message 3 is there. But it cannot be executed. Means it does not find any main method. It says, boss, I don't find any main method to start. Where should I start this executing? But it is compiled successfully. Right? So for your understanding purpose, just let me do some small change here. Right? So I'm removing here. I change this small main to what? Capital main. I told it is a case sensitive language. I changed a program. Let me do what? Again, recompile. Whenever you change, save and recompile. That is a standard. Okay. Compile. There is no error, right? Having a capital main is not error. Okay. Now you have how many dot class files generated? 3 dot class files. They are generated at the same time. 828. You can see the new dot class files. Okay. Now I need to execute them. If you want to execute, this is having main method. This is having main method. This is also having main method with a wrong name, capital main. This is not the correct main method. It always searches for main with all small. This is the meaning of what? Case sensitive language. You should be very careful here. These are all some tricky questions. You can get these kind of tricky questions in what? Written test. It looks everything same, but it fails. Okay, fine. So this is what we have. So your file name can be any name. Your dot class files always will be what? Your program names. And the one more point is your file can contain what? Multiple classes. That is also fine. But what is the difficulty writing like this? As a developer, do you have any difficulty writing like this? Is there any difficulty you'll face if you write like this the program as a developer? No, there is no difficulty. Case sensitive is there. That is the rule you have to. There is one of the as a programmer point of view, you can see it as a drawback of what Java programming. Anyway, it's case sensitive because you need to know which case to be used and all. I'm talking about this file creation with 3 programs. Do you feel is it right? Is it right? So it's again one more important point to remember. You should not always think from you should not think at this moment, right? Because your programs should be executed in future. Always your focus should be how this program can be utilized in future. That is what real time is. It's not writing the program at this moment. Because any application you develop, they are not for one time usage. They are for what? In future, many times usages. That is always the focus. Any apps you see, any software, it's not for using at this moment. It is using for what? In future. Now, do you think is this kind of programming creation is feasible or is it easy for you to maintain in the future?
No, because
It's not easy. Why?
one file we have
Every time we have to run separately.
Yeah, you have to run separately classes because each class is separate. Each program is separate. You have to run them separately. There is no second thought about it because each program is separate. Each program should have what? Technically will have what? Different logics. But creation of classes I'm talking about. Is it easy for you to remember and execute? It's not easy. Why? Because your file name and class name are what? Different. While compiling, you use what? File name, but outcome is different. You have to go. If I don't know, if I don't go location, where is the dot class file generated, and I definitely don't know what. You can know by looking at this class name, but it is tedious. If I have 10 classes here, it's difficult to find which class is there and all, right? Not the correct way to. It's fine, works fine, no problem. But in future, it leads to what? Now today I have generated dot class files. Again, after 1 week, do I need to generate them again? Do I need to generate them again after 1 week? I can directly execute them. I don't need to compile and regenerate them. If I modify this source code, I need to. But is it easy for me to identify where are these dot class files in which file? Which Java file these dot class files are stored? Now let's say I want to modify after 1 week. I found a mistake in the logic. I want to modify it. And by that time I have created what? 100 Java files. I created what? 100 Java files and I want to modify what? One of the source code. Is it easy for you to find which file has which source code? Because your file name is different, your class name. How will you identify which file has which class? 100 files I have with different names. Inside it, 100 programs with different names. Is it easy for you to find which file has which program? Now, what is the best way to find?
With the same
File name, same class name. It is easy for you to what? Oh, this class is error, and you look for the file name. Now the class name and file name are what? Same. So it is easy for you to what? Identify it. Isn't it? So that is a standard actually. That is for that reason only people will prefer to take what? Sale name, file name, and program name, class name same. It's not it is not compulsory. Right, after 1 week I have created 100 Java files and one of the program I want to modify. And you are not following some standard. You have taken file names different, class name different. Will you able to open that file easily? It becomes what? Very difficult. You have to see all 100 programs. You know the class names, but you don't know where this class name is in which file. That becomes difficult. That is the reason to avoid such kind of future maintenance issues. People tend to take what? Same file name and class name. That is not compulsory, right? So I'm going to change this to rename it to print message, right? Again, I change my file name. Now I cannot compile what file? I cannot compile test.java. It is not there. It says I don't find test.java. This file is renamed, right? So I have to compile with what? Print message.java. It's fine. Again, you'll get what? Same 3.class files. But as a developer, how can you guarantee that? Yes, I took the same name. Actually, this is not the same name. How can you guarantee that your file name and class name are same? Right, because it is strictly typed language. I keep a print message as my file name, but inside I write all my class name as what? Small letters. Again, you get what? Different dot class file with a different name. It is tedious. Is there any way that is there any way for you? You have to manage everything. You must make sure that your file name and class name must be same with the case and all. You have to manage all on your own. Sometimes as a human, you make mistakes, right? So to avoid that also, you can append one keyword to this. This keyword helps you to what? Avoid different names, adding public. It has a different meaning in the programming language. It has a different meaning in the programming language. One of the use is what? Whenever you create a public class, the compiler will take care now. Whether your class name and what? File name both are same. Compiler will take care now. Remove this. Public, when you write public, compiler will now takes care. What is your file name? Print message. No, it won't execute.
Message 1, sir.
Yeah, actually it should not compile. I think I did not save this public, right? So I was saving that test class. I modified it. I kept one of the class name as what? One of the class name, not all, as public. Now let's see what happens. My file name is what? Print message.java, but inside the class name is what? Print message 1. Different names again. Let me remove these classes. Sometimes happens you must remove what? These classes. If you don't remove these classes, they are having previous compiled codes. They execute, but with what? Previous compiled codes. So remove them. If you are modifying it, is always, in order to remove, actually they get overwritten. When you recompile again and again, the old class files get overwritten with what? New class files. For time being, I'm removing them. In order to remove them, see the now compiler is saying what? But you cannot do this. It's not compiling. It says what? The public class name which I've used, which class I have given public? Print message 1. And the file name must be what? Same. You must save this program inside what? File called as what? Print message 1. But you have saved it in a different file. This is to avoid these kind of naming mistakes. Public adding a public to your program. Compiler is now comparing whether the dot class file name, whether the class file name and the file name they are same or not. If they are same, compiler compiles. Otherwise, compiler won't compile. So this can help you. This is automating your burden. Now it won't compile until you make your program name as what? Either you change the program name to print message or you change the file name to what? Print message 1. Means your file name and inside the public class name must be what? Same. When you use what? Public keyword. File name and your public class name must be same. Otherwise compiler won't compile. If I don't have public, you can have what? Any names. But if you create a class with public keyword, compiler forces you to have what? File name and class name, program name must be same. Because they are now different. One is print message, one is what? Print message 1. Compiler is not compiling. So this is the standard people uses. Don't say file name and class name must be same. File name and class name can be different. But only one case where the file name and class name must be same is when you have public class inside a file. So now I'm having 3 classes again. 3 classes. One is public class, 2 are non-public classes, right? And now my file name and my public class name are what? My file name and my public class name both are what? Same. Now let's compile this. Actually, these are very simple things. Most of the outside institutes, they don't teach you all this stuff. Now you see how many classes are generated. How many dot class files are generated? Now this is fine. Only one class. Can't you see on my desktop? 3 dot class files. 1 with print message, 2 and 3. There are 3 dot class files generated. Same story. For each class, you'll get 1 dot class file. And the class which has main method, you can execute them. The class which does not have main method, you cannot directly execute them. There is indirect way of executing them. That you need some time to understand what is the indirect way to execute those classes. They are all compiled, right? So this is the standard. Now we'll go to one more rule. Now can I have this allowed or not?
You'll get file declared.
Is it allowed or not?
No.
I'm having 2 classes with public keyword.
No.
Yes, no.
No.
Now why no?
Because compiler will take care of.
Compiler will search for what? Compiler needs the file name and class name must be same. But you cannot give what? 2 names for the same file. This is fails. This fails. So one file can have how many public classes? Only 1 public class. This is what? But this is also a public class. You must store inside what? The same file. These are all simple but very important. I want you to experiment with all these things. A file can have only 1 public class. You cannot have what? More than 1 public class, because public class name and the file name must be what? Public class name and file name must be same. And you have 2 public classes. You cannot give what? 2 names for a file. Not possible. 1 public class is allowed and multiple others must be non-public classes. Alright. So technically people says this is as your main program, which has what? Main method. No. This is also a main program which has main method. And can I have multiple classes inside the same file with multiple main methods? You can. People say it's not possible, but you can. Class can have what? Main method. No restrictions here. Any classes can have what? Main methods. Now say me now, finally we'll form one rule here by observing all these things. So what is the best practice you think for all these combinations? Call name and file name. If it is same, you have advantage.
We can find that.
It is easy to find that class. So that is the best practice. It's not a compulsory practice. These are all called as what? Best practices in the industry, right? Fine. So we're going to. So what is the practice you are going to follow now? Class name and file name same. How can it is made sure that they are same?
Hiding
By hiding public. That is a one rule. Now second rule, that is also very important. How many classes you create inside a file?
We can create
But what is the best practice? That is fine. You can create any one is better. Because in future, if I want to modify the logic inside print message to, it is difficult for me to what? Find which file this print message to is stored. So this is a standard. So you're going to write one program for one file. This practice makes you to identify your programs easily in future so that you can modify them easily. Lot of varieties you have here, but the best practice gives you what? It tells you what how easily your codes can be identified and maintained, modified. These are all very important. Right, so yourself itself in future after 1 week, if I ask you to modify the logic inside print message to, definitely don't find where is this. So you have to open all the Java files and see where is this print message to. So this is technically not recommended to write like this. Though it is allowed, I'm not writing like this. Okay. So you write only one program for a file and you make them as what? Public classes so that you can avoid what all future errors. Right. So this is the standard. So this is the best practice you are going to follow now. From now, this is how you are going to create a simple Java program. So the rules must be followed. Best practices, that's your choice. If you practice the best practices, you will have advantage of what? Avoiding a lot of confusions in the future. They are not compulsory to be followed. But if you follow them, you have advantage of what? Finding your programs or modifications, enhancements. These become what? Much easier. They don't waste your time, right? So rules must be followed. The rules must be what? Case sensitive. Every program must be written inside what? Inside a class. These are the rules. So you cannot avoid them. But this public taking public or writing multiple classes, these are not the rules. They are your conventions. You can follow whichever the convention is best for you, can follow that convention. But I follow always what? One class for one file with public class. That is a convention I follow for future maintenance, right? So these are all possible, right? So this is a simple program. So as I told you, if you are having some programming knowledge like what C, C++, in the initial day, in day one class, we have seen the syntaxes are same. If conditions, for loops, all you can write. You have learned some if conditions and all, right? But in PLSQL, only the syntax will be what? Little change. Okay, let me write one more program here. I'm always following the same standard. Let me remove all dot class files. Okay, copy paste because the same syntax I need. I'll write a program with the name. Add numbers. Okay. So I'm declaring what? Variables. Int I. This is not colon equal, right? Come out from PLSQL. It is what? Equal. Colon equal to is the assignment operator there. Int k is equal to I plus j. Case sensitive. If I write capital I here, will it work? It won't work. It should be what? Small I only. Okay. Now I would like to print this. Again, printing is what? System dot out dot print line of just concatenation. What is the concatenation operator in Java? In database, you use what? Single quotations, but here we use double quotations. There is the first change. There the concatenation operator is pipe. Here the concatenation operator is plus. String plus. Where is the result stored? Inside K. This is my second program. And program name, I should change. Make sure that I copy paste. I must change the program name. Now it must be same as what your file name because I took public here. Okay. Fine. Now I would like to compile what programs? There are two programs, both are not compiled. Can I compile multiple programs at a time? You can do that. How many programs you want to compile? You can compile at a time, but not execution. Execution only one file, right? So Java C, print message space, add numbers. Both get compiled at once. It's fine. You want to compile all Java programs, let's say 100 programs I have here. It's difficult to what? This is correct. Both gets compiled. Both have got dot class files. You can see there. You got the dot class files for each program one, right? One is having add number logic. One is having what? Printing the message logic. But if I have 100 files, it is very difficult to write what? .java. The best simple solution is what? Star. There's a wildcard character we have used in SQL. What is that wildcard character? Represents any number of characters and any type of character. We have used in SQL. What is that wildcard character which can be used? Forgot wildcard characters in SQL queries. Any number of characters and any type of characters in the like operator. Percentile. But here it's not percentile, it is star. In operating systems, star means what? Any file name which ends with what? Java. You compile all of them. Java C star.java. It is going to compile what? All the files in the current location, right? In this location again. This is also fine. It's compiled all the Java files. Alright. Just now generated 48. But execution, you cannot execute all of them at once, right? Java space, print message. No need to use dot class here. And Java space, add numbers. No need to use dot class here also. Oh, equal to is missing, but I got the output. That's fine. 10 plus 20. I got what? 30. So I compile all the files at once. You can do that, right? Sometimes it is needed. You got the output. So this program is very much similar to what? The programs which you write in what? C, C++, whatever. If conditions you can write, while loops you can write, switch cases you can write. Anyway, I will take you through all those concepts. I'm not going to skip them. But before I give you programs, if you practice, you can have more understanding about it. Simple, right? So these are the rules. I told you, you are going to remember what? The rules. So these best practices only differentiates you with what? Others in the market. You have to follow the best practices because industry follows what? Practices. If they see you this practice inside you, then you have very good opportunity to hiring. Right. So these are small things, but makes a huge difference. I want you to practice from the day one itself. These are the things, right? Because these things are generally used in the industry. I want you to practice them, right? We'll include some more best practices and all. Fine. So this is simple Java program. This is how you can write. So wide variety of things you can do. But these are final standard which we are going to follow. Okay. Lot more things to discuss about this program. This is not end. Tomorrow we'll start with the same print message. I told you 15 days it needs to understand what that print message itself. I'll add more. Tomorrow we'll discuss each piece of this program. Why should I write the program like this? What are these things? I'll give you more inputs about this program. Then we get into what? Some other discussion about the program. Okay. So any questions? So first thing you're going to set the path. Second thing you're going to what? Write the programs, compile and execute whatever you know you do it. Factorial logics, Fibonacci series, whatever the logics you know, you try them. No stopping. Don't wait for what? Assignments to be given and then only I'll practice. No. I'll give you the assignments anyway. Right? So for today, you try to identify what are the various building blocks inside this program. Building blocks of a program. So whenever you construct something, you'll be constructing what? You'll be taking piece by piece and you are arranging them right together. Then only something is constructed. So like this in this program also there are so many building blocks. Small pieces. All the small pieces put together becomes what? A structure. When you see this room, it is also constructed like this only. You have so many materials collected, put together, that becomes what? The structure. Same thing is applied here. So to construct this structure, there are small pieces are put together. And what are the various type of pieces we put together? We technically call them as tokens. In programming language, a small piece is called as a token. So this program is constructed using such pieces and assembled together gave us this structure. Identify what are the pieces are used here, what are the tokens are used here, and each token you should know where to use what a piece. It's right. So when you construct this kind of rooms, you should know where to use what, which material, right? where to use cement, where to use what iron, where to use sand, and all these things, and which is combined with what, which is the correct combination, right? Electric cables, how to use, how to inject, and all. You should know. Same way, combination is important, which can be combined with what piece, right? So bricks, and you can use what, bricks and cement together go, but brick and some other pipes and all, they cannot attach, they cannot separate, they can be separated. So you should know. So small pieces are here actually. Looks very simple, but there are so many small pieces are used to construct this program, and identify if you can. Anyway, I'm going to take you through them, but identify what are the various pieces are there inside this program. Any program you're going to construct, those are the building blocks, standard building blocks. If I want to construct a room, first thing comes into your mind is what? I need bricks, I need cement, I need sand, I need some steel, these things. These are the material you need to construct this room. If you construct anything, right, you need some basic material, and that material you have to collect and then you assemble them. So same thing here. Now we'll figure out them tomorrow, and this is how you create what, Java program, right? So any questions you have on this? So technically I don't want to, yeah, I have taken some discussion, but I want you to experiment them. Sometimes I may be wrong, right? So don't blindly follow my statements, because it's huge. One or two statements may be sometimes wrong, maybe, right? I don't wantonly do that, right? If you don't practice, you don't get a understanding of all these things. I think till date, you start to you in engineering college, that class name and file name must be same. That is, I know who learn these things in engineering college. That is the standard they might have injected in your minds, but that is not always correct, right? So explore more, learn more. Tomorrow we'll meet, right? If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll wind up. Yeah, online, is it okay? Clear? Fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. No questions? Should I stop?
With me.
Okay then.